Good Wednesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain AccuWeather, coming to you by way of the Captain AccuWeather Command Center. On behalf of A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling, 865-947-4267 is their phone number. They've been serving East Tennessee since 1982. That was a long time ago, back when the World's Fair came into practice, of course, came to town. But James Fincham started this company. They have a great monthly maintenance plan. We've been in the single digits in the past week or two, which we'll talk about too in more detail. But I do want to remind you that there are great places, great resources. A1fincham.com is a great place to go, and they are the sponsor for this particular weather segment. Let's go back to the maps. Temperature right now all over the map, as I indicated last night, they would be. We're at 39 in Knoxville. It's around 42 in Maryville, but it's 54 in Jamestown. How can that be? How can that be? Well, elevation plays a role. Got some issues there in Rockwood. Looks like the temperature trying to come back. We'll see what that says. But 50 degrees in Crossville and 55 Oneida. So depending on where you are this morning, it looks like it's 38 there in Rockwood, pretty close to it. 41 Athens, so there's going to be some variability. Keep in mind temperatures are going to be part of the story because more melting of snow and ice underfoot will continue as we expect temperatures to climb in the upper 50s, low 60s. We're running about 18 degrees warmer now in Oneida, 13 degrees in Wartburg, and 9 degrees warmer in Morristown, just for comparison or for context. But 13 degrees warmer in Newport. The temperatures are coming up. Not too much in the way of visibility issues. Clouds are going to be abundant today. Plenty of clouds here on a, we'll call it a Wednesday morning, because that's what it is. I'm just trying to make sure I have the right day of the week. But yeah, we're talking about rain that's going to be an issue. Weather Service has flood watches for a couple of our counties, specifically McMinn and Monroe counties. But this runs from 1 o'clock today, or preferably if you're in areas in Middle Tennessee, you could be starting off closer to maybe, say, noon Central Time, but it runs till 7 tomorrow evening. So till Thursday, I think this could expand very easily. We also have wind advisories that were issued last night, early this morning, very early this morning for gusts up to 50. Where are those wind speeds? Well, they're going to be primarily in the Smokies. They're highly localized. The winds that come in, the Smokies are going to be concentrated there, because I suspect winds in Knoxville are 0 to 5. 0 to 5 miles per hour. Not a whole lot of wind. Not a whole lot of wind, and I can show you that right now. We've got zeros in Knoxville. It looks like a 0 in Sevierville. But where you see some color, the green and the blue, that's where the winds are picking up. So keep in mind, if you're traveling through the Smokies today, this morning, it will be a lot windier. And there's a breeze, no doubt. Certainly in the plateau, got a 14-mile-an-hour sustained wind there in Jamestown. But there are some of the gusts. They're close to 40, 42 estimated now in some of the higher peaks. So it will be a breezy day. For the Smokies, no doubt about that. By the way, if you haven't checked out A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling, they're family-owned and operated since 1982. James Fincham started this company, and what was amazing about that time frame, of course, very electric here in Knoxville during the World's Fair, but since then, they've been locally owned and operated. They run out of Powell, Tennessee, and they have a great monthly maintenance program. I don't know if you know, but the heat pumps, during the time, the heat pumps, we're talking about the time when we were 0 degrees on the 17th of January. We were 5 degrees on the 18th of January of this month, and we fell to 8 degrees on the 16th of January. It was 6 degrees on the 21st. That's 4 mornings in the single digits. Heat pumps from my friends at A1 Fincham doesn't necessarily, you have to go to the emergency heat once it gets below 15 degrees. So these are great questions to ask, and I've got a great phone number to share with you. That phone number, as you can see on my screen, is 865-947-4267. This is their website. So check out their website. You can see a little markings here. But this is, again, we're talking about the temperatures today will be warming up. And if you had issues with pipes, you'll have other issues too. But please make sure that you check out A1Fincham.com if you're in need of a heating and air conditioning company. Meanwhile, the radar shows all the rain. Where's the rain? The rain is way down here, back here towards, say, Tupelo and into Memphis, Jackson, and Bowling Green. So it's going to take a while. This is why I left a 40% chance of rain today, and most of that will be coming in late in the afternoon. So for the evening, it's going to get very, very soggy. So if you're ready for the rain, we've got that on the table, as you can see. And also, if you expand the view, there's thunderstorms. You mean those are coming here too, to some degree? Sure. There'll be some rumbles of thunder tonight, and that's when the rain will get a little more intense. Good morning to you. It is now 6:45 this morning. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook. I want to say hi to you. Michael Norman says it's been a rough January for summer lovers, no doubt. And I think February is going to be just as challenging. So please be mindful of that. Jeff Carell says, good morning, Captain. Finally got the snow I've been waiting for. I absolutely loved it. When to expect more? Next month, February. Now, we'll get some in the Smokies before the end of the month, but I'm getting ahead of myself. That's a good question. Felicia says, chilly South Knoxville this morning. hoping the schools get cleared out today for kiddos who have to go back tomorrow. And Danny Feedback says, good morning, David. Hope you have a great day. Stay dry. Go Vols. Hashtag Go Big Orange. I kind of injected the hashtag Go Big Orange, but Danny and I go back and forth with the smiling of our Vols. Now, you can see the thunderstorms in Mississippi. This is the fire hose that I refer to because it's on the receiving end. That's Mississippi today. They're getting the heavy rain. Now, tonight, tomorrow, that's when we get it. So our concern for flooding will go up, I think, and that's why some of those green shaded counties in McMinn and Monroe County may expand to Knox County. I'm not the Weather Service. I can't be accountable for what my neighbor does, but my neighbor, and they're good neighbors, the National Weather Service are great partners, but they may decide to increase the flood watch to other areas. Just stay tuned. That's another great why to have the Captain Accurate Weather app. It's free. You get notified in real time. You don't have to wait for it to be posted on social media. To rely on it. Come right to your phone if you have the free Captain Accurate Weather app. The radar shows more snow across Vermont, more in New Hampshire, upstate New York, and here's the playing field. All those little red boxes, polygons near Houston and Louisiana, refer to flash flooding. So if this is the canary in the coal mine, heavy rains flooding down to the south, is it any wonder we're going to be experiencing that very soon? In fact, the Weather Prediction Center here at 647 has placed most of East Tennessee under their level 1, which they call marginal, for at least a 5% chance that we get some flash flooding today and tonight, because this really goes through it's about 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. But the risk of rainfall exceeding the flash flood guidance, as they refer to it, could occur within 25 miles of any point. So a 5% chance, at least, where you see green for some flooding tonight. Now, tomorrow, I think it goes up, and they see that accordingly. So we're looking at scattered flash flooding in yellow. And this is again, the Weather Prediction Legend. Very similar colors, mind you, from the Storm Prediction Center, but they have only 4 categories. If you want to call the no label a category, that'd be 5. But still, there's no orange here. Just the scattered flash flooding may be localized, and you can see when we look at tomorrow, a good chunk of East Tennessee is yellow. Not everybody, but Knoxville, Maryville, at least 15% chance of flash flooding. Now think about it. We still have some snow melt. I've looked out my window and I see the snow is melting on the grass, but it's not all gone. Probably not all gone where you are, but it has a chance to get down and disappear today. But then we have a wet sponge as the surface. The ground will be so saturated. Now we're going to throw in a couple of inches of rain. Are you kidding me? Some of you are going to say, it's like a river. It's running down my road. And that's what's going to likely occur. And that's why the Weather Prediction Center has placed a 15% chance we get some flooding from Gatlinburg, Knoxville, Loudoun, Lenore City. Everybody is fair game. By Friday, that chance goes down to about 5% because there will be a pullback in the rain, but I think it comes racing back on Saturday. So there's still a lot of weather drama still yet to unfold. Notice most of the rain from Jackson, Paducah, Bowling Green comes in waves. That's how it will be tonight. It's going to come up to Huntsville, Chattanooga, and then right up I-75 into Knoxville tonight. So be prepared for that. Let me show you how this may play out, right? This model still thinks that we've picked up maybe 0.01 inches of rain through 7:45 this morning. That's doubtful. But if you got a sprinkle, okay. Take me to 5 p.m. How much rain has your town received? Not a whole lot, has it? This is 5 o'clock. It'll be different by 7 p.m. 2 hours later, it's lights out. Here comes the rain. But I wanted to stop it at 5 p.m. just to show you a sample that it may not rain at all today in Morristown. It may not rain at all in Greenville. You're going, what rain? He said 40%. I guess I could be fair game not to get anything during the daylight hours. But tonight it goes up to 80%. And you can see why, because by the time we hit 5 p.m. Thursday, Greenville's picked up over a half inch. There could be 2.5 to near 3 in Oak Ridge, Crossville. This is a cumulative amount. This is not like each day gets that. This is a total of all the days, right? There's 5 p.m. Thursday. We're knocking on the door, Knoxville, at 2 inches. And then by the time we hit Thursday night, Friday, we could be at 2.5 to 3.5. Oak Ridge, Knoxville, almost 4. Now we get a pullback maybe Friday. Saturday comes in with reinforcements. There's 5 p.m. It's over 4 inches of rain in Crossville, right? I've been touting to my premium members for days 2.5 to 4.5 with locally higher amounts. There's bound to be more. I mean, this doesn't take into account, these models don't take into account all the water that's already sitting on your driveway with the ice, or all the rain or the snow that's sitting on your lawn. This is going to be a mess. This is going to exceed maybe my expectations and yours. That's why I said 2.5 to 4.5 with locally higher amounts. Go into Sunday, and we get a little bit more. 4.2 Wartburg. And this could easily shift down toward Maryville, meaning the 4s might come back into Blount County. There's still some wiggle room on the receiving end of this fire hose. This is going to be a fire hose of water that comes up from the Gulf of Mexico. So if you're ready for this, then smile, it's coming. We're getting it. Team Spring will get their wish. They're not going to deal with snow the next couple of days. It's just going to be rain. 55 right now in Oneida. If you're just joining me, it's 5:51. My goal is to be done in 9 minutes. Rockwood's actually a little strange. It looks like 38 or 40 in there, but I'll have to go back and check that. 41 in Athens, 41 in Newport, and it's currently only 36. Jacksboro, Campbell County. There's a huge difference. What is it, 19 degrees between Oneida and Jacksboro? What an interesting drive that would be this morning. If you're driving between Oneida and Jacksboro this morning, please tell me how amazingly cold it gets by the time you get to the central part of Campbell County, because that's how different it is, right? We have elevation and we have lack of wind, but where the winds are moving, those red arrows have pushed Tupelo to 61. It's pushed Memphis to 59 this morning, and it's pushed Nashville to 57. That's why I think we'll be in the upper 50s to low 60s today. That is my expectation. We'll take a look at that forecast right now. Clouds are increasing or thickening up. If there were any thin spots, it will be a mainly gray day today. Plenty of clouds with a 40% chance of showers. Sun is up at 7:42, and will be going down at 5:54. And when you drive home, that's when the wipers are going to be going back and forth, because it's going to likely be raining. The showers will be on the increase as we head toward evening tonight. So if you're heading out the door in the next few minutes, you may not need the umbrella. That's cool. That's fine. I don't expect a whole lot, but you'll notice temperatures go from 45 at 10 to 58 at 2. I'm looking for an end point, a finishing point. High temperature about 59 for Knoxville, 61 Maryville. It's a big difference. I mean, you've got a huge difference this morning between La Follette, Jacksboro, and Oneida by 19 degrees. It's going to eventually warm back up in Campbell County. They'll get up to about 61 today, 67 for Newport, and that's just today. Tomorrow, Knoxville should be around 68. That's a lot of warmth coming your way. By the way, I want to say good morning to you if you're on the call. I'm on YouTube, too. I haven't popped over there. Let me see if I can pop over here. Yep. I got Marilyn Bell. Everyone have a great day. If you have a lot of snowpack, think of the flooding issues. TVA to open the dam floodgates to control water runoff. I'm sure they're very well versed, and they get weather reports, no doubt. I got a Spanish translation needed here, but Jeff C says, good morning, Captain. Giving you a shout out on YouTube, the greatest weather person around. Thank you, Jeff. You're very kind. Doing my best to get you all and ready and mentally prepared for what's coming, because I'm just the messenger. I like to tell that because some people like to throw darts at words that I say. You said, okay, it rained. Oh, you said, okay, yeah, that. Give it time. I mean, I'm less likely to criticize my own forecast until the event is over. And this event hasn't even started. And some people think that this is a bunch of hooey. But we're getting 2.5 to 4.5 inches of rain, plus the snow belt. It's going to be a mess, no doubt. Wanda says, I am on Team Snow. Come on, Snow. She's hoping for more 8 inches of snow for Newport. Newport got shortchanged, everybody, this past Martin Luther King storm. Kelly says, waiting on Snow. I'm on Team Snow. And Danny saying, go Vols. And Felicia asking, how should the drive to Nashville be this morning? Hubby is driving for work. He should be okay. Should be okay. It really gets intense once we get closer to sunset tonight, and that would be true of Nashville too. But temperatures today, about 58 in Crossville for a high. Now high temperatures will reach upper 50s, so expect rain showers today, just a 40% chance, but they will increase for the second half of the afternoon and evening, no doubt, because tonight it turns heavy. It continues tonight into Thursday, and it'll come in waves. Won't necessarily be as intense every hour, but then I think it's heavier again on Saturday. It's an if. I believe we'll get a little bit of a pullback on Friday, but then we get reinforcements for this rain on Saturday, and that is my expectation. So please be mindful. By the way, A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling. This weather report brought to you by family owned and operated since 1982, back when the World's Fair came to town. A1Fincham.com, located in Powell. They are happy to serve you. They have some recommendations and tips that I think really can save you money by changing your filters monthly. When's the last time you had your filters changed? Was it a month ago, or was it like 6 months ago? That changing of those filters can save you money. And also, I think if we learned anything this week, checking for drafts in your home and sealing them can also save you considerable amounts of money down the road. Consider more insulation. Older homes typically need more. Clear the area around the condenser unit. These are good tips even in spring and summer. But using a programmable thermostat by adjusting 4 to 7 degrees down in winter, up in summer, can save you money as well. Just schedule regular maintenance checks, and they're there to serve you. Sign up for the A1 Fincham monthly maintenance plan. They come out once before winter. We're past that. And once before spring. Once before summer. Once before winter, once before summer. So the big heating and cooling months, you're ready. You're not caught off guard. And that's where they come in so beautifully. A1 Fincham, heating and cooling. I think you'll be impressed, as I am, with their service. By the way, Knoxville rainfall, 4.76 is average. We've now had, as you probably kept track, now 4.5 so far. So we've had about a month's worth in the first 23 days. We could potentially add 3 or 4 more inches. We could have a bumper crop of rain and snow in January of 2024. That's what I expect. The drought still exists in the lowest form. It's level 1, the yellow area in Knoxville, technically, under abnormally dry conditions. But I think this will be all a distant memory, if not tomorrow, because we won't have that data reflected yet. But I think next Thursday, because it's updated weekly, comes out every Thursday, the rain that's coming in tonight, tomorrow, will be reflected a week from tomorrow in that report. So lots of areas in red that's getting the heavy rain today. They need it. I'm sure in parts of Mississippi says, bring it on, and we're so dry. They're under exceptional drought in central Mississippi, and there's some other red areas in Iowa, New Mexico, and Texas. Now, I know some of you have been looking for this. I want to show you snow will come back. Won't get into the weeds or the specifics as I do on Premium. It's just $4.99 a month if you join me on Facebook Premium. Just go to CaptainAccurate.com or subscribe on this Facebook page. But you can see there's not a whole lot of color or snow because we're getting so much rain in the short term. But eventually, if I move this clock a little fast forward, you can see the date. It starts to fill in around the horseshoe effect of the Smokies. That's before the end of the month. And there's still some snow potential in parts of New York State, West Virginia, and dare I say, even East Tennessee before the first 9 days of February. So, yeah, there's still possibilities. And there's still going to be a lot to unfold. I think most of winter is still ahead of us, not behind us. And I think that might make some of you a bit nervous, as you should be, especially if you're not a Team Snow fan, because snow is still in our distant future. Now, 64 is the current temperature in Destin. 61 is the current temperature at Myrtle Beach. And they're at 75 in Miami. So there has been a pullback. I do see a -6 there. Looks like they're in northern Maine. But Futurecast shows all this warmth coming in from the north, from the south to north. It's spinning in here from the Gulf of Mexico. But if you need more evidence that down the road it gets colder, any areas in blue would be cold enough for some snow to form. And there's some spin. Look at that low around Memphis. You can see the colors. There's a spin there at the end of Saturday afternoon in Memphis. So there's some spin, colder air. Smokies get some snow. It gets really cold. So it starts to turn a lighter shade of blue by 29th of January. So we've got cold air. And then there's likely to be what I describe to my premium members as what we call a backdoor cold front. Look at Montreal. Focus on Montreal for a second. Oh, there it is. That's going to be the opening of the floodgates for more cold air. Because Buffalo, Montreal, we see this backdoor cold front coming in around the 4th, and it just floods all the way down to Texas. Cold air, game on, winter's back, and it comes back with a vengeance, I think. I think you're going to be amazed at how winter does return. Currently, it is now 6:58, 38 degrees. We have no wind chill because it's, well, 3 miles an hour, I think. Probably a little wind chill, but pressure is at 30.24 inches, and we have 85% relative humidity. Here's the planner. This is also key. With plenty of clouds, rain showers, just a 40% chance, and most of that will be in the second half of the day. But temperatures should flirt with 60. I have us at 59. If you get up to 61 Maryville, would not surprise me. That's where I suspect we will be. Precipitation chances, 40 today, 80% tonight, 80% tomorrow, then a little pull back to 40% Friday, then it's back to 80% on Saturday. So a lot going on, and you need a scorecard perhaps to keep up with it. I know a lot for sure. But if you're back on the call, say hi to you. Cody LaRouche says, good morning, David. Good morning, Cody. Glad to have you on here, my friend. And looking at some other notes that might be on YouTube, I know I needed a translation. There was a Spanish comment. He's still there, but Maryland's. Oh, Dennis Hatcher says, good morning. And I got Steve Stone smiley face on YouTube. Thank you, Steve, for being here. I appreciate you all for your support. It is now 6:59. I'll finish as fast as I can here in the next minute or two. But as far as the Storm Prediction Center, there are some concerns for severe weather today, and they've increased a category in parts of Baton Rouge and New Orleans. So if you have family down there, scattered severe storms are likely to break out in yellow at Houston, Corpus Christi, San Antonio. May find some isolated severe storms today. Eventually, we'll get into the thunder possibilities here in green. That's mainly tonight, because this is a today-tonight outlook, and this is a Thursday night outlook. But it puts most of the severe weather around Destin, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Jackson, Mississippi on Thursday, even Montgomery, while we have some thunderstorms tomorrow. No thunder expected on, say, Friday, but there will be some thunderstorms, perhaps toward the Biltmore, toward Asheville, and perhaps toward Greensboro on Friday, as most of this begins to pull back just a wee bit. So here's the futurecast. Notice by 8 o'clock this morning at 10, there's a little bit of drizzle here in the Southern Valley, a little bit of drizzle there. Okay, really not a big deal. But once we get toward the drive home, there's noon. Most of it's in Nashville. With another point that Felicia wanted to know, if I get to Nashville, you want to get there before noon, certainly because it's filling in at this time. By, say, 3:15, it looks like this. By the time we hit 5 o'clock, it looks like this. Big difference, right? Lots of red, heavy rain at 5 o'clock, Nashville, Cookeville, and very little in Knoxville. But give it a couple of hours and it fills in, and the heavier rains are here, and I think it will fill in probably more to a degree than what you see illustrated here. But the heavier rains, about at least 1.5 inches potentially, but just tomorrow on average will likely fall in some of the backyard rain gauges that you might have or keep track of during the course of any rain event. But notice the pullback on Friday. The front stays to our south and east, but then there will be reinforcements with that low in Arkansas and Louisiana, as that'll bring in more rain on Saturday. So our forecast for today, looking at temperatures, very cognitive that we'll have a lot of clouds. There's no getting around that. And it will be warm, perhaps with a little bit of hazy sun. You can see some breaks in the cloud cover there. But by the time we hit about 3:30, some of us will be in the low 60s. Some of us will be in the upper 50s. It's just going to be the way it goes. As it's now 7:02. I'm going to wrap things up here, but notice the rain across parts of the plateau really fill in tonight. That's 7, 8 o'clock. Downpours, Kingston, Athens, Oak Ridge, Wartburg. Heavier rains on the west side. Lesser amounts for Greenville, Newport. And then it moves in, fills in, I think, during waves during the course of tomorrow. Heavier rains you can see there at 3:30 on Thursday with some thunderstorms as well. Temperatures tomorrow should reach about 68. So I suspect 68, a good bet for a high on Thursday. So for today, now it's 7:02, 59 degrees, plenty of clouds, rain showers, light and variable winds. Temperature about 59 for Oak Ridge, 62 for Morristown, Hamblen County, Talbot, White Pine, and Russellville, 61 Alcoa, Maryville, 64 Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, and 58 for Crossville and Lake Tansy. They'll be in the low 60s today for Nashville, Jackson, Memphis, and should be in the mid-60s in Birmingham in parts of Alabama. Tonight down to 46. That would be the coolest number, one of the cooler ones. Heavier rain arrives, and it's going to create big puddles. Just from the snow melt alone, you'll have some big puddles. A little bit of rain, and you say, hey, it looks a lot worse than it is, because it will be exasperated. Could be worse. Now, lows tonight, 47 Morristown, but only 55 for a low in Crossville. Oneida, 55. So a big difference in temperature. That will not change tonight. It will be highly variable from 40s to 50s. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. 68 for Thursday. We're looking for an 80% chance of rain Thursday with heavy rain and storms. 63 on Friday, 62 on Saturday. So we got 4 days, today through Saturday, of warm weather, relatively speaking, because the normal high is 48. And we could be close to 49 Sunday, but by Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, we've got snowflakes in the Smokies. Maybe the plateau, but I think better bet will be in the Smokies. 45 on Monday, colder, and then 48 on Tuesday. We start the morning Tuesday around 28 degrees. By the way, just very happy that you all are here. Happy that if you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. If not now, maybe as the morning progresses, because some people will watch this on delay. I realize that. Dennis Hatcher saying good morning on YouTube. Back to Facebook as I'm dual cast, so to speak. Jill says thank you. She says good morning, and Felicia was wondering about that drive. Yeah, I would say the earlier the better. If your husband is heading, she says hubby's trying to drive to work to Nashville, you'll be trying to time out the rain because it's going to be pouring in there a lot faster than it does here. Anyway, just want to remind you, if you haven't picked up the phone number for A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling, they are at 865-947-4267. It might be easier just to write a1fincham.com into your phone or your web browser, but A1 Fincham has a great monthly maintenance plan. They do typically come out right before winter, right before summer, but you might have had some challenges with your heat pump, as I've been told by A1 Fincham. Some people didn't know they could go or should go to emergency heat when temperatures get below 15, and we had, what, at least 1, 2, 3, 4 days in the last week or so where we got into the single digits. So it's been very taxing, perhaps on the heat pump, because if you're trying to heat your home to 70 and it's 5 degrees outside, you'd be lucky to get the house into 65 category. So check out A1 Fincham. They can answer your questions for all things indoor weather, but heating and cooling, A1 Fincham, check them out. Very happy to have them, and we'll see you here next time. Take care. Take care.